Alright, hello, welcome back to part 2 of vocab and sampling methods. So this is where we're going to get into the sampling methods part. So for these questions, we need to identify if it is simple, random, cluster, stratified, convenience, voluntary response, or systematic. Now all of these terms are on that vocab sheet that we did in the first one. So if you need a refresher, always just go back. Alright, so every fifth person boarding a plane is searched thoroughly. So this tells me that, okay, it's random, but it's not, so it's every fifth person. Okay, so that tells me that this is going to be systematic. Okay, alright, so then at a local community college, 5 math classes are randomly selected out of 20, and all of the students from each class are interviewed. So this is a cluster because it's divided into heterogeneous groups, and all individuals in this selected cluster are included in the sample. So our 5 math classes, and they're all being interviewed. So those 5. So this is a cluster. All right, a researcher randomly selects and interviews 50 male and 50 female teachers. So this is a stratified random sample. Reason being is that we have a homogeneous groups. So meaning we have all female and all male for these 2 groups. All right, a researcher for an airline interviews all of the passengers on 5 randomly selected flights. All right, so this is again a cluster. So they randomly selected 5, and all of those passengers on that plane were interviewed. Based on 12,500 responses from a Facebook survey posted on its alumni Facebook site, a major university that the annual salary of its alumni was $92,500. So this is a voluntary response, meaning these people from the Facebook group voluntarily took the survey and told the university what they made. A community college student interviews the first 100 students who enter the building to determine the percentage of students that own a car. So this is a convenience sample. So it's conveniently that they are the first 100 people to enter the building. After that, they don't take any more samples and they are done with it. So that's just convenient. Alright, a market researcher randomly selects 200 drivers under 35 years of age and 100 drivers over 35 years of age. So this is a stratified random sample. Because we have under 35 and over 35, and these are 2 homogeneous groups. Alright, and I'm not going to do the rest, but we also have simple random. I'll do one simple random. So number 10 is a simple random. Because the names of 70 contestants are written on 70 cards. The cards are placed in a bag and mixed well, and 3 names are picked from the bag. So they all have the same chance of being selected from this sample size, so that is why it's a simple random. Alright, so let's look at these. Are these samples representative? So meaning they are fair to everybody. So let's look at 17 and 18. To evaluate the reliability of cars owned by its subscribers, Consumer Reports magazine publishes a yearly list of automobiles and their frequency of repair records. The magazine collects the information by mailing a questionnaire to subscribers and tabulating the results from those who return it. So this is not representative, because only people who read that magazine are going to get this survey. So if you don't read this survey, if you don't read this magazine, you're not going to get that survey. So it's not representative of a good population. Alright. Number 18. Oranges from an orchard need to be sampled to see if they are sweet enough for juice. The orchard has 25,000 orange trees. Each tree has at least 500 oranges. Claire decides to randomly choose 800 trees and test at least 1 orange from each tree. Yes, This is representative because it's choosing those random trees. They all have an equal chance of being taken, and then again they also have a random one orange from each tree, so it is equal chances all the way around, and we are all good. Alright, so the other thing that we need to get into is biased or unbiased. So biased meaning there is a favor in one outcome, unbiased being there is no favor in the other outcome. So let's look at some of these questions. So we're going to determine if this survey sample is biased or unbiased, and we'll talk about it. So question, what is your favorite sport? And our sample is chosen from people attending a soccer game. So this is pretty biased because the people attending the soccer game are probably going to say soccer because they're at that game. Now if we did a sample from the school and asked that, it would be a little bit more unbiased. Next question, what is your favorite soft drink? And this is sampled by choosing names out of a telephone book. This is unbiased. They're choosing random names. They have no information about their background, and they are, totally random. Alright, so question, should more money be put into the athletic programs or the music programs at school? And the sample is chosen from students in the band program. This is biased because they're only interviewing the people in the band program. If they want a fair sample, they should do people from all sorts of programs, or they don't even know their program background at all. Alright, and then we're just going to go into this next part. So tell whether the following survey questions are potentially biased. So when you answer it, the question is potentially biased, rewrite it so that it's not. Number 5, don't you agree that the voting age should be lowered to 16 because many 16-year-olds are responsible and informed? This is biased. This is a biased question. So the way to reward this is that we could take should, we can just take this out, should the voting age be lowered to 16 and take out this entire thing. It's a question, nothing else. We said that, say nothing else. Alright. Number 6, do you think the city should risk an increase in pollution by allowing expansion of the Northern Industrial Park? This is biased because, again, they're trying to sway them a certain way by showing this negative part. So, the question should just be, should we allow the expansion of the Northern Industrial Park? That is just a question, nothing else. Alright, don't you agree that the students need a new baseball field more than a new science lab? Again, this is biased because it's just not being really about if it's a science lab or a baseball field. You should ask the question, would you rather have a baseball field or a science lab? You're not asking more than, you're just asking science or baseball, nothing else. Alright, would you pay even higher concert tickets prices to finance a new arena? Again, this is biased. So it's asking, do you want to do more just for a better arena? No, it should just be, would we pay higher prices for a new arena? We need to get rid of this even because it senses some sort of bias. Alright, number 9. The budget for Wake County public schools is short of funds. Should taxes be raised in order for this district to fund extracurricular sports programs? This is not biased. And this is a great way of representing a question on your voting form. This is how they would word it. So they're going to be trying to be very non-biased in how they ask, how do you think the funds should be distributed? Alright, so let's look at this last part about biased versus unbiased. So, you want to determine the following, whether to serve hamburgers or pizzas at a soccer team party. Write a survey question that is most likely to produce biased results. Write a survey question that would most likely produce unbiased results. So biased results, I would say, wouldn't you rather have hamburgers than pizza at the party? So it's, whenever we have biased questions, it's usually starting off with, wouldn't you rather? compared to if we had a non-biased question, it would be, would you rather have pizza or hamburgers? Okay, so be very careful about the wording that we use for these. All right. Number 12, you want to find students' opinions on the current attendance policy. Get 2 ways that your sample for the survey may be selected. The first must be an example of a biased sample, and the second must be an example of an unbiased sample. So a biased sample would be the students who are in the attendance office for being late. So students who are late almost every day, or students who just are just late on that one day, something like that. Or students who tend not, or have a tendency to not attend school at all, something like that. A non-biased sample would be, we take a survey from everyone on the second floor, or everyone, all the students from 10 random classrooms, something like that. Okay, so that's how a biased and unbiased. You want to see, how can I skew my results so that I get what I want, or how can I make it so it's a fair question to be asked. Alright, so that is the 2 things. We have our vocab, sampling methods, and then biased versus unbiased. So make sure you understand all that vocab. Alright, that's it for your first day of statistics. Have an awesome day and stay safe out there.